boy, do I have a great show for you today, and it's all about The Shining. It's going to be great. I mean, great. Did I say great already? Huh. Well, that's because it's going to be fiendishly great. We're going to count down some awesome frightastic facts. Visit the Overlook Bar in Cincinnati, and I even have a very special guest I know you're going to want to meet. With that being said, let's cut our way right into this one. Even though King himself isn't much of a fan, Stanley Kubrick's 1980 vision of The Shining is widely considered to be among the best big screen adaptations of Stephen King's story ever. And with good reason. Jack Torrance becomes the winter caretaker at the isolated Overlook Hotel in Colorado, hoping to use the time to cure his writer's block. He settles in along with his wife, Wendy, and his son, Danny, who is plagued by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the hotel's dark secrets and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac hellbent on terrorizing his family. That's the exact way I like to spend my winters. Even if you've seen the movie 100 times, I know I have, I'm willing to bet there's still probably a lot you don't know. And it's history. So sit back, grab your axe, and get ready to watch The Shining's horror hotness. Remember the scene where Jack slowly stalks Wendy up the staircase while she holds him at bay by swinging a baseball bat at him?
Give me the bat. Stop swinging the bat.
Which I never understood. He was such a nice man. I mean, he and I would have been such great buddies. We both love axes. We both enjoy making people smile. Anywho, well, in that scene, there was an estimated 127 takes. A world record for takes used on a scene without any dialogue. Speaking of crazy amounts of takes, the infamous Here's Johnny scene from the film. Well, it turns out that Jack Nicholson was very accomplished with an axe prior to filming due to his days as a volunteer fireman. He was so good that he chopped through all the doors way too easily. They had to make new doors out of heavier wood. That scene took 3 days to film, and they went through 64 doors to get it right. All this is a testament to Kubrick's directional style and dedication to his craft. He was never afraid to keep rolling until he got what he wanted. Even the scene where the ball rolled down the hallway to Danny. 50 takes! Can you believe that? 50 takes! By the way, I'm way better with my axe than Jack. Kubrick was known for his amazing visual style. He would take a cast and crew to new highs and lows to get what he wanted. He was so incredibly intense on set that actress Shelley Duvall not only became very ill, but actually suffered hair loss while working on the project. Jack Nicholson, when asked if he wanted to work with Kubrick again, simply laughed and said, no. On the other hand, he was so incredibly protective over Danny Lloyd that he had a prop dummy made for the scene where Wendy picks up Danny and runs away from Jack. He didn't want to traumatize young Danny after all. He was so visionary, in fact, that many claim Kubrick was the director called upon by the U.S. government and NASA to fake the moon landing video. This was not true, of course. Or was it?
One small step for man, one giant.
One legendary story that King still tells at some book readings is that Stanley Kubrick called him at 7 in the morning to ask, I think stories of the supernatural are fundamentally optimistic, don't you? If there are ghosts, then that means we survive death. When King responded with the question, how does hell fit into that picture? Kubrick simply responded, I don't believe in hell. Hell! Huh! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing! Ha! Say it again! In 1983, King told Playboy, I had admired Kubrick for a long time and had great expectations for the project, but I was deeply disappointed in the end result. Parts of the film are chilling, charged with relentlessly claustrophobic terror, but others fell flat. He didn't like the casting of Jack Nicholson either, claiming Jack Nicholson, though a fine actor, was all wrong for the part. His last big role had been in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and between that and the maniac grin, the audience automatically identified him as a loony from the first scene. But the book is about Jack Torrance's gradual descent into madness through the malign influences of the Overlook. If the guy is nuts to begin with, then the entire tragedy of his downfall is wasted. In the book, the spooky events are centered around Room 217, not Room 237. Oregon's Timberland Lodge, which was used as the hotel's exterior for some shots, is to blame for this swap. The lodge's management asked for the room number to be changed so that the guests wouldn't avoid Room 217. There is no Room 237 in the hotel, so that number was chosen. The website of the Timberland Lodge notes, curiously and somewhat ironically, Room 217 is requested more often than other rooms at the Timberland. Room 217 at the Stanley Hotel is where Stephen King woke from a nightmare and scribbled down his first thoughts on a novel that would later on become The Shining. Kubrick is famous for being a particularly detailed-oriented director, so when Jack Torrance is seen reading a Playgirl in the lobby of the Overlook before he gets hired, it's probably not meaningless. There is an article in the issue about incest, so the most common theory is that Kubrick was subtly implying that Danny may have experienced sexual abuse. Another article advertised on the cover is Interview, the selling of Starsky and Hutch's David Soul. Perhaps Kubrick was throwing in some extra foreshadowing. Regardless, no normal hotel leaves copies of Playgirls lying around, so the magazine serves as an immediate red flag in the film. To protect Danny, who was only 5 when he made the film, Kubrick told him that they were filming a drama. He didn't even see the actual film until he was 17. Danny said later, I just personally don't find it scary because I saw it behind the scenes. I don't know, it might be kind of ironic, but I like funny films and documentaries. He might like documentaries and funny films, but I like horror. Horror. In addition to improvising one of the most famous lines of the film, here's Johnny, which is the only line from The Shining to make it onto AFI's Top 100 movie quotes. Nicholson actually wrote an entire scene. He felt a particularly deep understanding of Jack Torrance's berating of his wife while he's trying to write. In an interview with the New York Times, Nicholson explained, "That's what I was like when I got my divorce. I was under the pressure of being a family man with a daughter, and one day I accepted a job to act in a movie in the daytime, and I was writing a movie at night. And in the back of this little corner over here, my beloved wife Sandra walked in on what was unbeknownst to her. This maniac." And he told Stanley about it, and they wrote it into the scene. The salt was only used for the final scene. It's snowing in my dollhouse. Doesn't taste very salty. At the end of The Shining, this is where Jack chases young Danny through a snow-covered hedge maze before finally dying. To create the elaborate wintry maze, it took hundreds of tons of salt and crushed styrofoam. But the results are stunning. So in the end, I guess it was worth it.
Unless you're the guy cleaning it up.
Very true. That would suck. That same snow would later make a return to the big screen in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Another interesting tie to the Star Wars universe. Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo in Star Wars, was also up for the lead role of Jack Torrance. Lee Unkrich runs the Overlook Hotel website, which contains tons of pictures and behind-the-scenes information about the film. I started the site purely for selfish reasons, Unkrich told Vulture in 2013. I I've been collecting stuff from The Shining over the years, and I just wanted to have one place where they could be organized. Unkridge was also one of the people who helped fund the Room 237 documentary. But undeniably, the most fun part about Unkridge's obsession with The Shining is finding the hidden references in various Pixar films, including Toy Story 3. Sid's carpet is very similar to the carpet in the Overlook Hotel. A garbage truck license plate reads RM237. And Trixie chats online with a dinosaur down the street who happens to have the screen name Velocitar 237. Kubrick is notorious for his lengthy film productions. Sources differ on how long shooting itself lasted, but it was originally slated for a 17-week shoot, and it is estimated it actually shot in 51 weeks. Around that time he was making the film, Kubrick said, "There is a wonderful suggestive timelessness of making a movie imposes on your life. I'm doing exactly the same thing as I was doing when I was 18 and making my first movie. It frees you from any other sense of time." Throughout the film, nothing working is plugged into anything. Sure, you see a cord plugged into an outlet behind Jack in the interview scene, but where exactly does the other end of the cord go? The eagle-eyed of you may have noticed before, but if you pay attention, you'll see that the TV they watch has no cable coming out of it, nor do most lamps or other electrical items. And any item you do see a cord on, well, they're not operating. So weird. Kubrick had holes drilled to run the cables through in order to bolster the feeling of the strangeness and creepiness that the Overlook creates. As a matter of fact, one of the only scenes where you clearly see electricity in use is when Dick...
Wait, Dick. That's funny.
Get your filthy minds out of the gutter. Dick Halloran shows Wendy around the kitchen and turns off the lights in the walk-in cooler. As the film progresses, evidence of items being plugged into any type of power become almost entirely non-existent. Creepy, huh? Guess what? That is the same way I power my house.
No, you don't.
Oh, you're so cute. Like you know anything. Of course I do. It's all ghosts and nightmares to light up my life. All in all, whether you prefer the book, the Kubrick adaptation of The Shining, or, like Mr. King, you like the newer version directed by Mick Garris, one thing is clear. Terror that this story has left in our hearts is not going anywhere anytime soon. Hello? Hello? Anybody here? Hello? Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? 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 Oh, hello there. Hey, Annie. Come play with us. Forever and ever and ever. Are you sure you want me to play with you? No, you're scary. Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Hello? Anybody there?
Raggedy Dead Ann.
Nope, nope. God, I'd do anything for an interview. gosh darn soul. Just for a couple of questions. Oh, Jordan? Little slow in here tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Miss Dead Ann. What'll it be?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. I got a couple of crisp questions right here in my back pockets. I thought they were going to be there till next April. Here's what you could do for me. How about you slip me a couple of sound bites, a couple of questions, perhaps a glass of orange juice? Yeah, you can do that. Right, Jordan? Can't you? Can't you? You're not too busy, are you?
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Good woman. Jordan? 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 What the is going on in here? Are we gonna do this interview or what? I'm here at the Overlook Lodge, a rustic watering hole, and I'm here with the wonderful Heather Lynn Stickle, the general manager. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great. I have a couple quick questions to ask you.
Absolutely.
How long have you been open?
We have been open for about 5 years now. This Halloween will be our 5th anniversary birthday party.
Ooh, Halloween. I like Halloween. What led you guys to want to open a Shining theme bar?
I mean, why not? Shining is a wonderful movie, and we wanted to create a lodge atmosphere for all of our guests.
Okay, so do you have any Shining themed drinks?
So all of our cocktails are based after The Shining, made by our bartenders, but our house cocktail is our Writer's Block, featuring a tea-infused vodka, elderflower liqueur, and our in-house made appleberry sweet tea.
Oh, I'd really have to try that drink. Are there any other interesting facts or hidden secrets in here?
So a lot of our decoration is themed after The Shining, where our entire back booth is covered in the corduroy from Jack Nicholson's jacket in the final scene. We've also got a hidden red rum in both of our bathrooms.
I bet people have a really fun time trying to find those. What are your favorite events held here?
We do a ton of events from weekly to annually. Trivia is every single Tuesday with our hosts Ray and Otto. We have live music every Friday and Saturday. And then we also do fun events like our breast cancer awareness event where we tag team with the Pink Ribbon Girls in October. And in July, we do a USO event.
Well, thank you so much for being on my show, and I appreciate you answering the questions.
Thank you for coming in.
Why does everybody keep disappearing on me? Oh, I swear, this place. Oh. Hi, Raggedy Dead Ann here, and I have Steven Weber with me.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Raggedy Dead.
Hello, thank you so much for being on my show today.
It's my pleasure.
You got so many things going on, and let's see. I know you were in Wings. I remember Wings. I loved Wings. Can you talk to me about Wings?
I can. Wings was a show on NBC from, I want to say, 1989 to 97, when you were just a freshly sewn together doll before you died horribly. And then were resurrected equally horribly.
Using fruits and vegetables, tobacco, peat, incantations, and those things.
And it ran, it was successful, and it was fun and funny, and then it ran in syndication for years after that, where we were the butt of jokes.
The butt of jokes. Sorry, I'm just laughing.
She said butt.
I said butt.
Butt.
But well, how did you feel when you heard that Stephen King preferred the miniseries version of With You,
Right.
over the movie version?
I was thrilled that he preferred the miniseries version, but not surprised, as he wrote the script of the miniseries version and specifically did not care for the Kubrick version, despite the fact that it's classic and great in its own right. I think he wanted to give his fans, his faithful, something that was more accurate in terms of the text, in terms of the book itself, because Kubrick's story kind of went off the rails a little bit. So I was thrilled to get the part and do as faithful a version of the story as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any new projects that you're working on?
I'm going to be appearing in the third season of a show called Get Shorty, which is on Netflix, and several more, and the next season of Ballers with some dude called The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Never heard of him?
Dwayne.
And what'd you say?
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne. I
Dwayne
think something
Johnson.
like pop, like Dwayne, like a Dwayne,
Dwayne.
like a string.
Dwayne.
I'm turned on but uncomfortable.
It's a Raggedy Dead
It's the
Ann
hair,
thing.
it's the rotting fabric.
Yeah.
And I have actually a Netflix movie coming out called The Perfection, starring Allison Williams of Get Out fame. And it's a real nail-biting thriller.
Ooh, tell us more about that. I like thrillers.
It's about two cellists, two female cellists who are in competition with each other, and it takes a very dark, twisted, unpredictable turn. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Oh.
You'll love it.
Oh, it sounds so enticing.
It's enticing. Yeah.
If you were to be a toy, what kind of toy would you be?
Probably a slinky. I go downstairs alone or in pairs.
Everyone knows it's Slinky. That works. I like that answer. Well, thank you very much for being on my show today.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't partake of the food and drink, but
Oh, no
I don't
worries.
trust you.
I wouldn't trust me either.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's our show. I'm Raggedy Dead Ann. Keep on creeping on. See ya. Because you love this video and want to see more videos, just claw the like button and don't forget to subscribe or I'll find you and well, just use your imagination. It will not be good. Not for you, at least.